and welcome to a very special Valentine's edition of Connections. Today we'll be speaking to the wonderful coloratura soprano, Christina Johnston. We featured her many times and also done a full-length interview with her. But today we'll get to also know a little bit about Slava, who's her wonderful husband and also her manager. So I'm very excited for you to listen a little bit and discover their love story and also how they work together.
Welcome, you guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Now, you just shared with me you have a very unusual day for England right now. It's quite snowy there, right?
Very
Yes.
snowy. Yeah.
Very.
That only snowed once in the last year or more.
Yeah, last year we only
Yeah,
had snow for one night, and then in the morning it was all gone. And then this year, we've got, I think, a week of snow forecast.
Yay.
Now, Slava, you're actually from Russia, so did you grow up in Russia with the snow or no?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I grew up with the snow, used to it. I find it quite funny how the country in UK just stops when there's like an inch of snow and everyone panics and stocks up with shopping and stuff. But yeah, but then I'll be panicking right now because now that we moved here, we don't really put winter tires on. So, and that's the biggest issue, obviously, driving in the snow with summer tires. You know, whereas coming from Europe and Russia, you put winter tires on, it snows and it doesn't matter. You just carry on with your day.
Yeah, life is normal.
Yeah, life is
isn't it?
normal.
Yeah.
That's kind of like here too. Where I live is New York, so we're used to the snow. But my parents actually moved to Alabama for a couple of years, and it was just this new. Whenever it snowed, everyone was just shocked. They didn't know what to do, you know. So let's go all the way back. Now, you guys have a very special relationship. Not only are you married, but you also work together as the manager and singer. But I believe you guys met in school. Is that right?
Yeah, we did. We met when we were 13 on our first day in year 9. Slava had been sent over from Russia by his parents, and he didn't speak much English. And I met him on the first day because his sister was looking after all the new arrivals at the boarding school, and she's 5 years older than us. So she was in upper 6th when we were in year 9. And she was like, "Oh, I've got a brother in your year, Christina. I'll have to introduce you." And then later that day, I can't exactly remember when, but Slava ran over to our girls' house. There's like 3 girls' houses, and this girl's house, he ran over and he was crying his eyes out because obviously it was his first day and he couldn't speak much English. And she was like, "Oh, this is my brother." And I was like, "Hi, Slava." And then he just burst into tears.
So what were your first impressions then, Slava, when you saw Christina? What was your first impression?
I don't remember that story, but I go with it, apparently, yeah. I do remember crying a lot, so I'm going to see my sister every evening because, having to do life in a foreign language when you don't really know it. And from day one, you have homework to do, and then, you have to try and translate it. So the easiest thing was to go and see my sister and get her to help me with my homework. So so we probably did meet. I'm sure we did.
Yeah, we did.
But I do not remember her. Although I do remember chatting to her throughout year 9 and texting like when there was half term, because I would always leave a day early from school because of times with flights. So I would always be gone by the morning. By the time everyone wakes up, I'll be on the plane home. I just remember generally texting her saying like, "Oh, look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time," because we're friends. And then I did send her a Valentine's card. I think when I was in year 9, so age 13, 14. But she didn't believe me until 2 years ago when we moved to this house now, when we moved back to the UK. We were selling our old house that her mum was living in, and her mum kept a box of memorabilia from school.
Oh.
And she brought it out and told Chrissy, "Do you want to go through it before we move it to the house? Maybe you just want to throw it away." And I just jokingly said, "Oh, maybe you'll finally find that Valentine's card." And she said, "Don't be silly. You never gave me one." And then the first thing she finds in the box right at the top is a bunch of cards, and one of them was from me for Valentine's, signed by me. my writing and everything. So yeah, so now finally she believes me.
Vindicated.
So
So you guys just remained friends, it sounds like, for quite a few years. Did you have any classes together, like music classes, Slava? No.
no, I did not do music.
No.
I'm still terrible at music.
You're not terrible.
Well, I don't play any instruments. I don't
You've
really
got
know.
You've got good ear, though.
Yeah, I just like the sound of music. And but no, first 3 years, I guess we had lessons together because you do your majority of the curriculum is the same. Like you've got 7 or 8 class, like same subjects. So I think we were in science classes together and maybe geography or something. But then once you go into sixth form, so from the age of 17 and the last 2 years of school, you get to pick your 4 subjects and that's all you do. So of course, Chrissy was artistic, so she did all those things. I was supposedly was the brain, so I did like business studies and maths, and so we probably never met really.
So did you guys date at all when you were in school, or is it kind of you're just still friends? Okay.
We had our first kiss though at 18.
We did, yeah.
17. No, we were 17.
We were 17. It was one of our school friends' 18th birthday party. And yeah, we all the whole of our year went to his party, and I think we had the dance and we kissed, which again Chrissy doesn't remember, but I remember. And we actually have a picture from that party. But yeah, that was our first time we kissed.
And then
that was it.
That's so special that you guys have all this time together. But then when you left, did you kind of lose contact for a bit, or did you occasionally say hello?
Yeah, well, Facebook is a wonderful thing when you know, it saves so many things, like right from the day you started using Facebook. So actually, if you we went through our history, and then we found, you find like conversation was going backwards and forwards just as friends, and then suddenly I think I just got bored of Facebook. So you can see Chrissy writing to me, and I just stopped replying. Yeah.
But then we met up again. It was when I was at Guildhall in London. So it was my 3rd year there, or 2nd year. And we met up with all our friends from school. They all invited me to meet up for New Year's. And Slava was there, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, I planned it like a New Year reunion was our friends. And Chrissy and I had a mutual friend from Framlingham, because Chrissy's from Framlingham, where we went to school, and he lived in Framlingham, so I used to see him a lot. So one summer, him and I drove from Prague. He came to see me in Prague, and then we got in the car and we drove to England. And he said, "Oh, by the way, Chrissy is in town. Would you like to meet up with her?" And I hadn't seen her since the day we left school, so I said, "Yeah, why not?" So we met in a pub, and then and afterwards we just kind of said, "Oh, do you want to join us on New Year's Eve? We're planning to meet up, a few of our friends." So she did, yeah. And I texted, I think 2 days before I arrived, saying, "Are you still up for meeting up?" And she said, "Yeah."
And then we got married that year.
Yeah, and
wow.
It's very
10 months later, we got married.
But I mean, when you think about it, you have all that history, right? So it's like not that fast at all. That's so incredible. So had you kept up with Chrissy's career at all? You kind of seen her singing and doing all that, or no?
No, I had
no idea. At school, did you?
Even at school, I think at school I probably never went to any plays, any concerts. I was just not interested.
You're into dance music, weren't you?
Yeah, I still am. But yeah, I just never did. It wasn't something it was on my radar, so to speak. And I actually thought they weren't for everyone. I thought it was like for parents or somebody from the cast, but apparently they were open for anyone to go and see. But I never saw any productions that she was in at school. So I actually had no idea she was even doing music. And then, when we got chatting, she said she's doing music, that she's an opera singer. I've never been to an opera before.
So what did you think when you heard that? You were like, new world here.
I had respect, obviously, coming from Russia, and opera is big there. So I thought, well, that's amazing. Although first thought was probably like, oh dear, how am I going to cope with listening to opera and classical music? I've never listened to classical music, but you come to love it and understanding it more, like everything.
So what was the first time hearing Christina sing like?
I don't know, what was it? Our wedding, probably.
No, you came to my recital at Guildhall.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, her final recital at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. That was probably the first time I probably heard her, and then she sang at our wedding, and then obviously the rest is history.
And I used to be really embarrassed to sing because we got engaged so quickly, like after a couple of months. And I used to be embarrassed to sing in front of him because I thought he wouldn't like it. And if we were in the car, like when I went to go and see meet his parents for his first time in March, we'd be in the car and I'd start singing along to something, and then I'd realize I'm singing and I'd stop and he'd be like, "Don't stop, I like it." So now you can't stop me now, can you?
No.
So tell us about your wedding, everyone's wedding. That's a very special moment. Do you guys have any particular memories from that day that really stand out with you?
It was definitely a lavish wedding.
It was a very nice wedding. We didn't have many people from my side of family. I think we had 10 people come from Russia, including my parents.
Yeah.
The rest were friends from school, and then Chrissy's side of family that I had literally met on our wedding day for the first time ever. Like aunties and uncles and everyone. And luckily now, obviously, they're all part of my family and I know them very well.
We had 300, didn't we, at the end?
Yeah, we had up to 300 people by the time the evening, because we had people come just for the evening drinks after the dinner.
It was definitely a messy wedding. There's a lot of vodka, and British people, as I told his dad, British people they cannot handle alcohol. They're not like Russians. So I said, don't have vodka on the tables. He was like, okay. And then during the wedding, he just got up and goes, "Who wants vodka?" And everyone went, "Yeah." So then they got 36 bottles of vodka were drunk, and it was a mess. All the British people were absolutely hammered. They really were, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, the problem was the Russian tradition is to toast every like 5 seconds, basically. Say something and then drink to it with a shot of vodka. And they said that the Russians started the tradition. They said a few words. My sister, bless her, she was translating throughout the entire wedding. She did very well, but tiring job. All the Russians did a speech and then said, "Off to you now, the rest of you, say something." And everyone was so quiet, aside from one or two of our friends who were confident. Nobody would speak, nobody would say anything. So I think after about half an hour into our dinner, my father got up and said, "Look, you're all boring. Who wants vodka?" Everyone, cheered. So he just ordered them to bring vodka, and then he got a shocking surprise, obviously, the next day when he saw the bill, and I was like, "Well, your choice." Oh yeah, we had people throwing up in this 5-star hotel. We had people passed out, and hotel manager asking us, "Do you know if they're staying here?" They're saying they're staying here, but we can't find them on the system. We said, "Well, we're not paying for them. If they're not in there, then I guess you're gonna have to find a way to get them out of this hotel." But yeah, it was messy, but memorable.
But we didn't drink, did we?
Yeah, we said to each other, we'll have a sip at the beginning to toast, and that was it. So yeah, we stayed sober, went to bed at 4 a.m. having opened all our presents. It was really fun.
It was fun. It was good fun.
And did you guys write? Sorry, I missed the last bit.
We ordered in-room dining at 2 a.m. with burgers and pizza. It was amazing.
Yeah, because you can never eat during your wedding except people.
Yeah.
And did you guys write your own vows or?
I can't remember.
Yeah, well, we didn't we did the traditional wedding bit, but then we wanted to add some prayers to the wedding. So we had my dad's best friend, or 3 best friends, all did speeches. Because one's a vicar and the other 2 are both Christians, and so they did these lovely speeches at the church, and then we did a special prayer for each other, didn't we?
Yeah,
Which was really special, wasn't it?
it was.
It was
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah.
And what did you sing, Christina?
Oh, I sang our song, didn't I? Before we danced our first dance, which was also the same song but done a jazz version of it. I sang our song, which is Edith Piaf's song "La Vie en Rose."
Oh.
So, yeah.
So what happened after you guys got married? Did you move to Prague then?
Yeah,
Yeah, we went on
straight away,
honeymoon.
yeah.
We went on honeymoon the next day for 2 weeks. Then as soon as we came back, we then got in the car, and our car was in London, and we drove all the way back to
Yeah.
Prague, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to pack her flat.
Yeah, because my mum had to sell my flat.
Basically, it had to be packed up on the day of the wedding. So I woke up in the morning, was just bare flat. There was nothing in it apart from just the mattress. And I woke up, got dressed, put the rest of the stuff in the car. We had rented a space in some garage up the road, so I parked the car there, then walked to the church. Luckily, her flat wasn't far from the church, and that was it. Then the next morning, we got taken to the airport, and then 2 weeks later, when we came back, the flat was already on for sale, and we couldn't even stay there, so we had to stay in a hotel when we came back. The following day, we went to Chrissy's graduation, and then that was it. Got in the car and drove straight to Prague. Yeah.
Wow. So we've done an interview with Christina. I'll link it on top. You can see all her incredible solo career. But when did you guys actually start working together? Was it in Prague when you started managing Christina?
Pretty much, yeah.
It came out of the blue, really, didn't
Just
it? Because
naturally, because
of language.
Language barrier,
Mm-hmm.
because not many people speak English. I mean, there's plenty of people who do speak English in Czech Republic, but majority still prefer, obviously, to speak Czech. I knew Czech, not very well, but better, especially being Russian. There are some similarities in the language, and so you could get by. Even speaking Russian to them, you could just about understand each other.
Because you're director of your dad's furniture company.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just, I was pushing as much as I can with people I know in Prague, to get her just a good singing teacher and get her on the ladder. And then it just naturally came to be the people would call me and just say, "Oh, would Christina like to sing here or there?" And yeah, I just started managing it that way.
What was kind of your proudest moment as a manager in Prague?
I don't know. I guess when she debuted at State Opera at 21, that was pretty amazing to see her there. Obviously, the youngest in the cast, but in the main role, and
all our family came over from the
we had
UK.
loads of people come from UK and stuff. Yeah.
And just remind me, what role did you debut? Was it Figaro or
Queen of the Night?
Queen of the Night?
Yeah, it was really scary. Like, I was so scared. And the cast weren't that friendly to me, I think probably because I was so young.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a new production. So this production had been going on for many years. So I didn't really get to meet any of the cast. What happened was the director heard me at the Opera House. I had an audition because I was a young artist there at the time. And they came into my sort of lesson in the Opera House with my coach, Yelena, and heard me sing and said, "Yeah, she's great. Let's debut her in a few months' time." And then they just gave me a DVD of the opera and just said, "Just learn it, learn the way you're meant to be, like watch the Queen, like just mark everything." And I had a little bit of help from the conductor. He used to go through it with me, mark where all the stage markings where I'm meant to be in the score. And then I had a rehearsal the night before. And then the next day, I just had to go on, and I had the director backstage with me, and she was just like, go on, go up the stairs, you know what to do." I was like, and then it's like they had these huge stairs to get up, and then you come down the stairs, didn't you?
Yeah.
And as I was coming down the stairs, I'm like, I thought I was gonna go. But yeah, that was really, really scary. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a video on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, there is it's video on YouTube of it.
But that sounds absolutely terrifying, only to have one proper rehearsal with the cast. My goodness.
I know it was so scary, but yeah, it was good. It threw me in the deep end, and I got used to kind of just doing things without really much preparation. So I got used to it. So it was good. Yeah.
And when did you start doing crossover again? Because that was probably enjoyable to you, Slava, since you had like all these different popular music tastes. When did you start doing that?
I don't think I ever really stopped, really. Even in Czech Republic, lots of the concerts that I did, even with the film festival, I used to do the film festival every year, the music film festival, and that was obviously film music, so very crossover. And then lots of concerts that I did, they always wanted opera and sort of crossover and musical theatre, so I never really stopped, did I?
Yeah.
And I love crossover so much because it's so versatile, and I think so many people. It just appeals to so many people because I think opera a lot of the time gets a certain type of people who like to listen to opera, and then the rest, everybody else thinks no. I found that with doing these online concerts every week, that most people in the audience who are watching much prefer when I do not opera.
Yeah, I mean, we even a few of our people who watch us every week that have messaged us just to say simply when she did like an opera night to say, I'm sorry, but I've missed that one. I don't like opera, so I'll watch all the others ones, but those ones, I won't be watching. And obviously, everyone's got their own taste. So. Although we do encourage reading and say, well, you should give it a go because you never know, you might actually enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. I think in a way though, when you're performing it, it's also a totally different experience because you're getting the whole story. You really understand. And someone that maybe doesn't know like Italian right off the bat, it might seem a bit boring because they don't get all the bits to it that we do.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
So after Prague, you guys came back. Was it last year or 2 years you came to England?
Now 2 years.
It'll be 3 years in June. Time flies.
Yeah, it's flown literally.
Yeah, so 2.5 years we've been here already in England. Took me a long time to get residence finally, but yeah.
Yeah, you guys had kind of a nightmare this summer, right? Where you guys got separated during COVID.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I didn't realize it would be that difficult to get a visa here, but yeah, I guess it's probably be the same if we moved to America. It would be very difficult to get one.
But you're together now. This is so exciting. I remember following the post and I just felt so awful for you guys that you were separated, but you actually went to Russia to spend some time, right?
Yes, I did. I got a visa to go there, and then we lived with your mum for I was there a month and a half. And you were there nearly 3 months. And then I had to come back because I was singing for an online Christmas concert at a estate place that they were doing an online one, and they wanted me there, but I had to isolate for 2 weeks before, so I had to plan it that I had to come back, and then you came back just before Christmas, didn't you, or December?
Before your birthday, literally 2 weeks after you had to fly, because she flew off, and I kept telling her, "Oh, don't worry, just leave a few more days." She said, "No, I really want to go. I want to make sure I'm prepared." And we hadn't heard back about my visa yet. And the day she flew off, I got a letter saying, your passport is ready for collection, come and collect it. But you don't know the result until you collect it. So they leave you literally have to pick it up, open the envelope, and then read the letter to them, find out whether you've got your visa or not. It's really horrible. So I was like, I've got the letter, but I now need to go and pick it up. So then it took me another week just to actually get hold of my passport and everything. But yeah.
So exciting.
I was really like it.
So was it right at the beginning? Because it was soon of quarantine. I remember you starting to do these shows. And I just have to say, like, you see Catherine Jenkins and she's got her phone. You guys have like the best live streaming quality of anybody. So how did this start? Because you started well, it wasn't like, you started and then you kind of found your group. You guys started and it looked professional. So how did you kind of learn how to do it all?
Well, I guess, we started back in end of April with the sound engineer that we worked with before. He said, you've got a studio, I've got the equipment. Well, not a studio, you've got a room basically. We've got a building that we were just using for storage. I wanted to make into a music studio one day. So he said, you've got the place, like, I'll bring all this equipment, let's go live. So we did, we gave it a go. And when we got bad internet here, but luckily we got good mobile reception. So we have to use our mobile net phone to
Wow.
stream.
Okay.
Take out the SIM
Yeah, you
card.
take out the SIM card every Friday, you put it in a router for 4G network, and then that allows us to stream. Without that, we wouldn't be able to, because we're in the middle of nowhere here.
You guys
So
have unlimited, I hope, right? Your plan?
Sorry, unlimited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If not, people really need to donate more, because that's really crazy.
Yeah. Well, luckily with mobile, the way it works, like it's unlimited, but in the mobile. But once you take it out of a mobile and put it in like some sort of device, they know that it's no longer in your phone. So they do limit it. They look at how you're using it. They basically don't want you to suddenly go and download whatever you want or movies. And so, but for what we're doing, it's enough to do 4 or 5 concerts a month without them, freaking out. What are you doing with your phone plan? But yeah, so we set that up with him, and then I think we did 7 concerts together with him. Through that, I learned obviously just generally what we're doing, because I did the camera work. He did the sound, being a sound engineer, of course, he had all the equipment. And then he moved on to other things, because we were coming close to summer. Well, we were already in summer, lockdown was coming to an end, and he was starting to do some outdoor concerts. So we kind of decided, well, what we'd like to carry on. So I just went online and typed in what's needed to live stream. Even though I kind of knew, I still just did it. And then it said, you need a mixer, you need a good laptop and internet connection and camera, really. So I quickly bought like cheapest mixer I could find. That was wasn't the best, but wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
So I think, we did pretty well at the beginning. We bought everything we could. We've asked a friend of ours who lives up the road, he's got like a small home studio.
He does it for church as well, because he runs the band at church.
Okay.
And he literally lives like 5-minute walk, not even that, 3-minute walk down the road.
Yeah.
He's got a home studio. I've sung for him before on a few different Christian songs. And he came up and just helped us with basically the mixer and stuff. And
well, at the beginning he helped. He just said, well, this would be a good microphone to start with, and he just gave us some pointers. So we bought it all. I set the studio up, and basically it is still how it was set up back in July. And then he just came over a couple of times while we were practicing the week before we went live, just by ourselves for the first time, and helped me with the sound and how to kind of do all the faders and everything. And then that was it. And then I got quite used to it. But like, I like it now, and
you just research.
I research all the time. I keep coming up with better. Like since then, we got a bigger mixer. I mean, obviously, pandemic has been really bad for some people. So some people closed their businesses, of course, because of it. So I was able to actually get some sound gear on eBay for very good prices due to other people having to sell out.
Yeah.
We've upgraded our mixer since then.
We had lighting from Slava's business in Prague, which was the furniture company, and we had these lights that he'd bought for the studio there for photography, for taking pictures of the furniture. So for some reason we kept them and brought them to England.
Well, because of me, I just technology. I didn't like throwing it away, and I knew that they were expensive at the time, and we had like eight lights for our big studio, because we had to take pictures of sofas, massive furniture. So I just brought it all with me when we shut the business, and they've been sitting there, and suddenly I said, oh, we've got some lights, and then we didn't realize that they got fans, because they're more for photography. Obviously you don't care about the sound, so they get really hot, and after a while the fans kick in to cool themselves down for about 5 minutes. But you could tell probably in the first of our 20 or so concerts that a fan would kick in at the wrong time, well, at the quietest moment when she's talking. But since then, we've thanks to the donations, we've been able to obviously upgrade the lights. They're now just LED, silent. Yeah, got a second camera, so we've got two cameras now, two for two different angles. As I said, better mixer. Yeah, just keep learning. It's
And now you do all the graphics and he creates, like, if there's someone's birthday, we'll create a little video for them, and it was someone's anniversary last week, so we did a special 45th anniversary video for them on Friday. So yeah, you're doing really well, I think.
It's incredible. It really is. Like, the quality is amazing, you guys. So
Thank you.
so tell us, like, you just, and now you have this whole planned out, I think, for the rest of the lockdown, right? You've got concerts set to go. And
yeah,
I'd say for the rest of the year. We said that even if pandemic went away tomorrow, I mean, why not carry on? Unless she gets busy, or when she gets busy, booked up, then we can bring it back down, or if people stop watching because their lives are back to normal and they're no longer free to watch. But otherwise, I think pandemic will probably change a lot of singers, the way they've been doing. If before, majority of singers would be just waiting to get their next gig, whether they have a second job on the side, main job, and singing is just on the side, or whether singing is their full-time work. And like with Chrissy, she'd just be at home, for maybe a couple of weeks until the next gig.
yeah.
I think now a lot of singers will actually be able to just go, you know what, why don't I just sing online? It's good exposure, and people like Justin Bieber was singing online and on YouTube back in the day and got discovered. Why not just keep singing and bringing joy to people?
oh yeah, and you can create so many things. Have you thought of doing an album from home? Because I know when you guys were apart, you were able to manage her sound all the way from Russia, so you can probably work with producers and that sort of thing. Have you thought of doing something from home and full album?
We'd like to.
Yeah,
it'd be really
definitely.
good to do something.
Don't know how to write. I obviously, we've got no music to write, but to record other people's music is a bit, obviously,
it's harder,
difficult. Going live is one thing, but recording it and selling it, I guess we will not be able to do that. But yeah, we're trying to. This our neighbor friend Andrew up the road, so he's got a plan to write some music. We've had a meeting with him, and he'd like to write music for Chrissy this year and release something. And obviously Adrian Warwick and Mark Young, they're still trying to write some music for Chrissy. So who knows? Yeah, watch this space.
Now I have to ask, because my husband will come in, and basically what he does is he'll hit the focus button on the camera for me. So sometimes when you're quite focused, you're like, just hit it. So do you guys ever get on each other's nerves, especially on COVID? Because you seem to get along so well, but do you ever, as manager, singer, like, no?
Yeah, definitely. The problem.
I said that much.
No, but it's not. I think an artist is an artist, and I'm not an artist.
That's true. Yeah.
She gets into her bubble, for example, the day of the concert or the day before, especially if it's a difficult program, whether it's what we're doing now, or whether back in the day now, it sounds like back in the day, because it seems like we've been in lockdown forever. When actual gigs were happening, she'd be nervous or very focused, and I would be getting frustrated because I'd try and talk to her normally, and then I wouldn't get much response. And I know why, but I'm very logical, and to me it's not logical to be like that. And I'm like, why
I'm
can't you
not
just
logical.
But then, like, somebody could call her and she'd be really nice to them on the phone. I'm like, what about me? Why can you be nice to me? And she's like, yeah, but you know me, and I can be myself with you and stuff. So, or even on Friday, we usually currently, because it's cold in that room, so we just do rehearsal an hour and a half before we go live. So we basically finish 20 minutes before hitting start streaming button. I think there was one song that Chrissy was wondering whether it's too late to change the song, or because she wanted for us to play like the cover version. Because
it's the really difficult song in Greece. We go together like Rama Lama Lama Kadiga, whatever they say.
Yeah.
And I was struggling because the backing track doesn't have any of the chorus members singing, so it's literally just me doing it, and I felt I just got a bit nervous. Even though I practiced it all week and I knew I could do it, I just suddenly got that last minute jittery nerves, thinking, gosh, what if I mess it up? I've got nobody, like no other singers sort of helping me. Maybe we could just like play the cover version and I'll just sing over the top. And then you were like, no.
Well, I think the stress of seeing the time, ticking, that we've got 20 minutes until we go live. And then she asked, and I think I just kind of just said, well, we could, but you understand it's 20 minutes. It would have been better if we did that yesterday at least. And then she was just like, fine. And I said, no, I didn't mean it that way. And then it just, misunderstanding of one another. But
I love it. That's how couples are. Like my husband will try to calm me down because I get so nervous, but then it's actually kind of irritating because he's trying to be so funny. And I was like, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And we're very different. I think that's why Slava's so good at being a manager and doing what he's doing. He's so detailed and logical, and you are very detailed, aren't you? Everything has to be gone through like with a fine tooth comb, whereas I'm more kind of
get over and done with.
Yeah, like I just want to get it done, or I just want to, like, I'm good at learning music because I enjoy the process of learning music, but I do like to already know it. Like I like to get to the end of it, and I'm the same with everything I do in just generally around the house, aren't I? That's why he's in charge of the dishwasher, because I don't load it properly. He's got his structures and everything has to be done a certain way, whereas I'm just come in and bulldoze my way through everything, and I probably annoy you a bit with that.
It sounds like a perfect balance,
Yeah.
Now, I do have to ask you before we wrap up, Christina, you have the best costumes when you do your shows. So how do you get them? And I know you had one custom made for My Fair Lady, right?
Yes. Yeah. The wonderful Ginny from Clothing by Ginny. Again, met her by accident. Oh, just because I think I just Googled, didn't I? And what did I need? I needed a dress for when I sang with Jose Carreras, which was a couple of years ago. And I wanted basically this Cinderella dress that I've got. I wanted to make it. I was singing Frühlingsstimmen, which is the Voices of Spring by Strauss. And I wanted to have this dress covered in butterflies. So I found her, and she only lives half an hour away. And she made an incredible job of it. So when we started doing concerts, and I knew like My Fair Lady was coming up, and I really wanted the costume for My Fair Lady, couldn't find it anywhere. And so then I just got in touch with her, and she did it literally all for free for me. This costume, amazing. She made it in a week, which is incredible. And then she started, then of course, after that, I said, well, I must pay you if I ever use you again.
Yeah.
As a favor, because we were in lockdown and she just wanted to do something nice. So then she made my Christmas dress for me. And then now she's custom making a Michael Jackson costume for me. Which is very exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and I tried to find stuff online, like there's costume shops and things.
Yeah, the first one we did was The Greatest Showman, because I thought, I said to Chrissy, I said, wouldn't it be great if you actually dressed like P.T. Barnum or whatever his name was.
That's when I dropped the thing down the toilet.
Yeah. So that was so we went on Amazon, as you do, and typed it in, and costume was available in her size. So we ordered it, and it looked amazing. So that's when we kind of had an idea. If we can find a costume within the budget, because some of them are crazy expensive, or majority are way too big for her, unfortunately. And that was kind of the idea of let's do more themed costume rather than just being in a big ball gown, even though she loves being in these huge ball gowns. But what?
Yeah. It's been interesting, definitely. But yeah, that was because it was the first time I was wearing a dress. I forgot that the belt pack was on the trousers, so I pulled the trousers out to go to the toilet, and it fell in the toilet. And this was like 5 minutes before going live, wasn't it?
Yep.
So then we just panicked. Well, I panicked, and we've got some sound engineers that live in Felixstowe, so we quickly called them, and they literally sent someone round in 5 minutes to come and help us with a new one.
And who does the scripts for everything? Because you do like the full show, you do all the different parts. So who does the script?
I do.
You
Yeah.
do. Okay.
I work on that during the week. And I would prefer not to have paper. I really don't want a paper. I want it to be on the telecom thing, but we don't have one of those. Maybe in the future we'll get one. But it's difficult to learn so much in a week. So to learn all that as well so I usually have to have something in front of me just to prompt me on what to say next. But I think people find it really interesting. When I started doing it, I did ask people if they wanted me to continue with either go through the story or interesting facts about the songs, and people seem to really enjoy it, don't they? So we kept it going. So
yeah, it makes it very unique. That I mean, I think I love just playing concerts, but it's great to get the full story with that. So before we wrap up, you were featured in Wonder Woman. So tell us about that.
Well, that came out really out of the blue. So it was last year during lockdown, the first lockdown, I suddenly got a call from a lovely couple that I worked with. They are film composers, and I'd worked with them on Interlude in Prague, which was about Mozart back in a couple of years ago. And I sang I was the main actress's voice. So and I sang all these different Mozart arias. Anyway, they contacted me and just said, "Oh, we've got some really exciting news." And I thought, "Oh, maybe they're going to do a new film or something." And they said, "No, you've been chosen out of however many singers to be featured in the new Wonder Woman film." And I was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah, they're using the song Vojka Sepete that you sang on Interlude in Prague." So obviously it's I guess most music's in a big database for films, and they had about 3 or 4 different singers singing the same song, and they chose my one, which was amazing. And it was nice because I thought I've been in film music before, and sometimes you don't hear me, like it's turned down quite quietly, but in Wonder Woman, when we watched it, we were amazed that they'd actually really turned me up really loud, and you can hear me really well for like 2 minutes. I was like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Because there wasn't really much dialogue going on, which was nice that they actually used that moment musically rather than
so I'm hoping that more Hollywood people will get in touch.
Well, I think we definitely had 2 people starting watching our online concerts simply by saying, "I heard you on Wonder Woman, saw your name at the credits and found you." Or another person actually messaged saying, "I Shazammed during the film to find out who is the singer," and then found, it obviously came up with the original song from Interlude in Prague, and that's how they found. So it was nice to get a few people,
super surreal.
Yeah.
I was watching with my husband and I was like, Christina for my concerts, this is her. So it was really exciting. So on a non-singing note, what do you guys do for fun? You're obviously stuck in lockdown together. Do you play board games? Is it like Netflix and chill? What are you guys doing?
Lots of Netflix, isn't it? We love
lots
films.
of Netflix, lots of movies.
We've got a cinema room, so we've
well, it's not like a cinema. We just, because we love spending time watching TV. So our small lounge is probably the smallest room in the house. That is a lounge. We just blacked it out. All the walls are black and dark gray, blackout blinds. You can barely see anything in there. It's a pain to tidy up in there because you can't see anything. And we just got a TV on the wall, speakers, surround sound, and that's we just sit in that room when we got nothing else to do and watch ton of TV.
Yeah, and we play board games.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Yeah, we played some board games over Christmas. Then it goes away a bit. It's mainly because she's so competitive and wants to get it over and done with. It's quite hard to play board games with her.
Do you guys have a favorite film each?
Oh, that's a really hard one.
Inception for me.
Inception.
Yeah,
Okay.
should be. What would be mine? Oh, I don't know. There's so many, aren't there, that I absolutely love. Probably, probably an old film like with Audrey Hepburn, Breakfast at Tiffany's or something like that. I love, or Roman Holiday. I love anything like that. I love all the modern ones too. So, like, I love all the Marvel films, like superhero films.
Yeah.
We love that, don't we?
Would you watch them twice?
Yeah, probably not.
Really not.
No.
Do you guys have a favorite meal to cook each other?
He doesn't
I don't cook.
Oh, you don't cook? Okay.
I'm the cook in the house. What's your, what? I don't know. What's your? Do you like me cooking?
No, nothing. Well, I don't. She always asks me, "What would you like?" I say, "Anything." I just
He's
will
very
eat whatever.
easy to cook for. Like, he'll just eat anything you put in front of him. Apart from onions or garlic, you don't like that. So we don't have that in the house.
Okay.
So food is very bland.
So my last question is, if you guys could travel anywhere after COVID, where would you go on your vacation?
Maldives.
Where? Sorry?
Maldives.
And what's
We
it
love it.
about there that it's like tropical or?
Tropical. It's well, I guess for you, it's like Bora Bora.
It's like
Okay.
Bora Bora,
Like,
yeah.
it's just tiny island, nobody around.
We had our honeymoon there, didn't we?
We went there for a honeymoon for 2 weeks, and then we went 3 years afterwards with my mum.
5 years afterwards, because
5
we're
years, yeah.
celebrating 5 years.
With my mum and her boyfriend for holiday there. So we've only been there twice, but it's the best holiday because we're not big on like sightseeing, even though sightseeing is nice but it's tiring. It's not really holidays. Whereas for us, holidays, just when you do nothing, you just sit, relax, and Maldives is the best place to do that. There's no distractions. I mean, the hotels, the 2 hotels we've been to, they didn't even have internet in the room, so you can't, you'll never be on your phone even when you're back in your little hut, because
And they have like huts on the water, so you can go straight out of your room and go down the steps into
Amazing.
the water. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Love it there.
So we'll be sharing this on Valentine's Day. So what will be the concert the Friday after Valentine's that you guys are gonna invite everyone to come watch?
So Love Is in the Air is next. And after this is Michael Jackson, the King of
Michael
Pop.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be amazing. And if you guys watching, Christina has albums you can buy on her website. And definitely if you enjoy her live shows, please donate to them, because they did buy all this equipment and everything, and they're doing it for free. So if you can donate, and Slava has kindly offered to give us a little tour of her setup. So we'll show that to you guys afterwards. Just want to say thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you
for
for having
having
us.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It's been lovely.
And we'll definitely have you back again. And we're excited. Christina's going to sing at our concert in March. So lots more to come. And we'll take a look now at Slava's tour.
Hello everyone, welcome to snowy and cold east of England. This is our studio where we go live every Friday. So do follow me and I'll show you what we have inside. So here I am standing where I usually stand on a Friday night. This is our background behind us. We've got a black, a grey and a green screen. We haven't tried out the green screen yet because we haven't had enough time to really practice on it. And it is freezing in here because we don't have any heating yet. I'm hoping that in the future we will be able to afford to put some heating in here, but for now, as it's snowing outside, I'm going to stay in my coat. This is my microphone, it's by Audio Technica, and these are my in-ear monitors which I use, which are made by Shure, which are industry-leading brand. If you want to see, that's how they're spelt. SHURE. So if you wanted to invest in any in-ear monitors, I would really suggest investing in these. So now you can see from my point of view. So we have 2 cameras that Slava uses to change direction when filming. So there is 2 Sony cameras either side of me, and there are 2 lights above each camera that through some magic, Slava does some trick where it shows a red light when it's live, so I know exactly what camera to look into, and it goes green when it's not live. And the TV you see before yourself there is where I can see all the chat, so anytime anyone's commenting during the performance, it pops up on here, and I can read it and interact with the whole audience. Now let me take you and show you Slava's side of it. So now I'm sitting in the boss's chair, and you can see that he can see me directly in front of me. This is the microphone he uses to talk to me in my in-ear monitors throughout the performance and tells me what I've forgotten or if I need to redirect something. And then this is the main computer where Slava uses OBS, and you can see this is where I would usually be, and he does all the graphics and everything on this computer. He has a stream deck here which controls all the graphics that go onto the screen live. Then he has the switching of cameras, which I don't really know much about. So, and then this computer here is used for my audio, the backing tracks, and that goes straight into my ears and to you guys who are listening live. And then this here, of course, is the mixing desk. At the moment it's an analog mixing desk. Eventually we'd like to upgrade to a digital one, but at the moment we've got this one, and it controls all the things that go into my ears and all the things that go out. So I did have to control this while Slava was in Russia, but he did teach me a little bit, but I'm still very much a novice. I very much stick to singing, because that's the only thing I'm good at. So now I'll show you the lighting that we have. So now the last part of what we're going to show you today is the lighting. Recently we upgraded these lights because we had lights from Prague when we lived there, but they were photography lights, so they used to make a lot of noise with the fans. So now we've upgraded to Dasne D50 lights, which you can find on Amazon. They're not the most expensive things, so we were lucky through all the lovely kind donations that we could upgrade to these, so they no longer make any noise, and we have 4 of them situated around the room, so it gives a really good lighting. And I think that's it, guys. I think that is the end of the tour. If you have any questions or anything else you'd like to know, do message me on Instagram at Christina Johnston Official, or my Facebook, The Christina Johnston, and do check out our live Friday night concerts every Friday at 6 o'clock on my YouTube channel, The Christina Johnston, or Facebook, The Christina Johnston. Thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed our tour today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!
Thank you so much for tuning in to this special Valentine's edition of Connections. It was so fun to have Christina and Slava interacting together. We often hear Christina speaking to Slava off stage when she's doing her online concerts, so to see them together was fabulous. Please support her upcoming series if you can. We're looking forward to see how she handles all that Michael Jackson repertoire. Christina's fantastic, so definitely check her out. We mentioned our mini concert with Ellen Williams, and it will be premiering at the end of February, so guys, save your dates now. Very excited to share that with you. Ellen is a wonderful soprano, and I think you're going to enjoy it so much. We also have a couple of other events coming up. Our collaborators on the Classical Crossover community group have just put together their wonderful Valentine streaming concert, so I'll put those links in the description. I hope you guys will check it out. Continue to support our channel by subscribing, and we'll see you next time.